Have you ever, like, found yourself in a situation where you just feel completely out of place, like being dropped into some historical movie without a script? You're just there.
Yeah, totally lost.
Well, imagine that, but for real. Today, we're doing a deep dive into this incredible story, sometimes pretty funny too, of Sima Xin. He's this modern guy who accidentally lands smack dab in the middle of ancient China's Three Kingdoms period.
It's a really gripping tale. It comes from various narratives, personal accounts.
Yeah.
It pieces together this amazing journey.
Right.
And our mission really is to unpack how this, well, seemingly ordinary guy manages it all. All he has is a bit of future knowledge and, believe it or not, his mobile phone.
A phone.
We'll
Okay.
dig into the, surprising twists, his attempts to change things, what that says about ambition, that massive culture shock, and yeah, even a bit of unexpected romance.
It sounds wild, so get ready to maybe rethink what being in the know actually means when you're literally a man out of time. Okay, so let's get into it. The story kicks off with Sima Shin. He's a film extra, finds himself in a bit of a mess.
Hmm.
He's on set, gets this frantic call. His best friend has framed him for a crime. Cops are coming, so he bolts, runs off.
Just pure panic.
He ducks into this mountain cave. There's a huge typhoon raging, just looking for anywhere to hide. And then, this is where it gets weird. He sees this, like, glowing sphere,
Yeah, light sphere.
gets sucked in, and bam! He's falling through what he can only describe as a time tunnel. Crazy start.
Well, the arrival itself.
Yeah.
What's fascinating is just how completely disoriented he is. He wakes up on a cliff. His first thought, he's in the underworld.
You would, wouldn't you?
Right. And his first real interaction tells you a lot. He saves this local guy, Fanjen, who fell into a ravine. Okay, noble start.
Indeed.
But then, almost immediately, they get attacked.
Mm.
And Sima Shin, still totally bewildered, he just thinks they're other extras. Two
Yeah.
of the character. He's still stuck in his film set mindset.
Yeah. He's yelling at them like, hey, I'm not with these guys. Where's the director? The reality only hits him in bits and pieces.
It's slow burn realization.
First, he actually bumps into the Yellow Turban Army. Then he sees Zhao Yun's army and this massive figure he calls Gigantic Zhao, and he still thinks it's CGI, like a computer composite.
His brain's just refusing to accept it.
Totally. It's only when someone finally tells him the year Jian on 12th year AD 207, Han Dynasty, that's when the penny drops.
Hard.
Oh, the horror. He scrambles, tries to find that cave, the portal back, but
Yeah.
nothing. It's gone. He's properly stuck.
And that feeling, that deep displacement, it immediately leads to some pretty major culture clashes.
Yeah.
The sources really focus on this.
Like what?
Okay, so pandas. He sees them everywhere, but the locals just call them white fur, and they see them as, well, common, lazy, even.
Food.
Yes. Fanjen actually asks him completely innocently, do you guys eat pandas back in Hong Kong? And then offers him panda meat.
Oh my God. I hope he didn't.
He spat it out instantly. Just pure horror.
Yeah, I bet.
And then there's like, bathing? No privacy. Fanjen offers to scrub his back. Sima Shin's totally weirded out, muttering, I don't want a broken back.
Yeah, different standards of personal space.
Completely. But then there are these little surprising things too. He notes the air is incredibly fresh, sweet, and in the market he sees grapes from the western regions being sold individually by the grape because they're so expensive.
Wow, like luxury goods even back then.
Exactly. It's this strange mix, isn't it? Utterly alien, but with these little echoes of his own time.
So, okay, he's stranded, freaking out a bit, maybe a lot, but then a little sliver of hope.
A huge one, actually. He finds out his mobile phone, his modern smartphone, can still send and receive text. Only text, and only to his sister back in Hong Kong.
Whoa. Okay, that's his lifeline then.
Literally. His only bridge across, 2,000 years?
He must have been texting her like crazy.
Instantly. Begging her to contact this Dr. Cao Daowai, some time travel researcher back home, asking for historical tips. Anything.
Makes sense. Get info, find a way back.
Well, yes, but also, his Hong Kong business sense kicks in immediately.
Ew. What does he do?
His first thought isn't just survival, it's profit. He starts dreaming about buying up ancient jade, Three Kingdom swords, imagining the auctions back home.
Of course, gotta find the angle, right? The potential payday.
Totally. Meanwhile, his sister texts back with some massive news. There might be a way home. A celestial event, August 15th, could open another portal.
A chance. Okay, get on.
So Sima Shin, ever the businessman, frantically starts packing. Not clothes, mind you. All his newly acquired ancient treasures. Jade, maybe some swords, whatever he could grab. ready for his big return.
Gotta bring back souvenirs, I guess. Expensive ones. But did it work out? Sounds too easy.
Well, there's a bit of a snag. And it's kind of funny, actually. Before leaving, he wants a nice soak in Liu Bei's famous hot springs. Tries to warm them up a bit.
Yeah.
Accidentally sets the whole place on fire.
Oh, no. Smooth move.
Not his finest hour. He has to race to the portal location, smelling faintly of smoke, treasures clanking. He gets there, sees the portal, but he can't get through.
What? Why not?
Turns out continental drift is a thing. Over 2,000 years, the portal's exact physical location shifted. He missed it, and the next scheduled opening.
Don't tell me.
200 years away.
Ouch. 200 years. So he's really, really stuck now.
Yep, properly stranded. So he has to pivot, makes this huge decision. Forget going home for now. Time to make a name for himself in the Three Kingdoms.
Wow. From accidental tourist to aspiring historical figure. Quite the shift.
It really is. And his ambition immediately focuses on strategy at the battlefield, specifically trying to get in good with Zhuge Liang.
The famous strategist. Smart move. How does that go?
His first encounters.
Yeah.
Well, he witnesses some clever local stuff, like the villagers tricking Lu Kang's soldiers about fake cow scouts to save their harvest. Sima Xin sees this ingenuity firsthand.
Okay, so he's seeing real strategy in action.
Right. But then he tries to impress Zhuge Liang himself. He pulls out his knowledge of the 36 strategies.
Which Zhuge Liang must have known, right?
Actually, no. That collection wasn't formally compiled until much later. Sima Xin claims it's from Sun Tzu, but Zhuge Liang just sees him as frivolous and verbose. Basically, all talk, no substance, not aid material.
Ooh, shut down. That's gotta sting. It's that time traveler problem, isn't it? Knowing facts isn't the same as having wisdom or understanding the context.
Exactly. Knowing what happened doesn't mean, why or how in a way that's useful right then and there. He learns that lesson the hard way.
Yeah, it really makes you think, how much difference can one person's knowledge actually make against the, tide of history?
We see that tested pretty intensely during Liu Bei's famous 3 visits to the thatched cottage to recruit Zhuge Liang. Sima Xin's there using his historical knowledge, trying to impress Liu Bei, Quan Yu, Zhang Fei.
Trying to speed things up, give him spoilers.
Kind of, but it's not that simple. Liu Bei already has an advisor, Han Liang, and Han Liang does not like this newcomer.
Ah, office politics. Even in ancient China.
You bet. Han Liang actually sabotages the second visit. Sima Xin sends a letter telling Liu Bei to come on the second day, but Han Liang sneakily changes second to first. So Liu Bei shows up early, Zhuge Liang isn't there, visit wasted.
Wow, devious.
So for the crucial third visit, Sima Xin has to get creative. He actually convinces Zhuge Liang to pretend to be asleep when Liu Bei arrives, just to make Liu Bei wait patiently and show the proper respect.
Forcing the historical narrative.
Pretty much. And it works. Zhuge Liang agrees to join Liu Bei. Big win, right? But then, another blow for Sima Xin. Zhuge Liang accepts the post, but specifically rejects Sima Xin as his main assistant.
Ouch. After all that, why?
Still sees him as maybe unreliable, perhaps too focused on clever tricks rather than deep strategy. Sima Xin feels totally betrayed.
Can't blame him. So what does he do? Sulk.
Worse. He joins the competition. In a fit of pique, wanting to prove himself, he decides to work for Han Liang, Zhuge Liang's rival advisor.
Playing with fire there.
Maybe, but he immediately gets a chance to shine. There's a crisis they need to find a spy in Liu Bei's camp. Zhuge Liang tries method. It fails. Han Liang suggests just executing all 8 suspects to be safe.
Yikes.
Brutal. But Sima Xin steps in. He uses what the test calls toxicology. But it sounds exactly like modern psychological profiling. Observing body language, hands fidgeting, shifting weight, stuttering.
Reading tells, like poker.
Exactly. And he pinpoints the actual spy out of the 8. Liu Bei is seriously impressed. Finally, some proper recognition.
Okay, so his modern perspective can be useful.
Definitely. And he keeps proving it. He gets into this confrontation with Kai Furen, a powerful noblewoman demanding higher taxes.
Yeah.
Sima Xin just blurts out, calls her a dead, ugly woman.
Whoa. Diplomacy level. 0.
Yeah. Zhu Jiang does some digging, finds evidence of embezzlement, but Sima Xin takes it further. He texts his sister, his search engine auntie, So Sha, as he calls her.
His Google.
Basically. Gets her to look up the real population figures for the area. Turns out Kai Furen reported 600,000 people, but the real number was closer to 900,000. She was hiding the numbers to skim taxes and secretly build her own private army.
Wow. Busting her with data from the future.
Liu Bei confronts her. She backs down fast. Sima Xin gets rewarded with those fancy Western region grapes again. And what does he do?
Let me guess. Gives them away.
Makes grape juice out of them and gives it to Zhuge Liang, maybe an olive branch.
Nice touch. He's learning. Slowly.
He even uses classic stories. Liu Bei's wives are fighting over a servant girl, Sanru. Chaos in the household. Sima remembers the story of King Solomon.
Oh, the baby story.
That's the one. He suggests cutting Sanru in half to share her between the wives. They immediately back down, horrified, revealing who truly cared for her. Dispute solved. Ancient wisdom applied brilliantly.
Clever. And this servant, Sanru, does something happen there?
Yes, this is where the romance starts to bud. Sanru is very kind to Sima, especially when he gets sick. She nurses him back to health.
Ugh. Florence Nightingale effect.
Kinda, they start talking. He tells her about his hometown, Zhizhou, Hong Kong. Tries to describe modern life. Mentions pandas with names like Anan and Jia,
Which must sound utterly bizarre to her.
and pet rats that Hong Kong girls hug and kiss. You can imagine her confusion. But there's clearly a connection forming, an emotional bond.
Sweet. Amidst all the chaos.
But duty calls. The Battle of Bawang Slope is looming. Big one. Cow's got 100,000 troops. Liu Bei, maybe 10,000. Plus, rough terrain, hard to keep the soldiers supplied.
Big problem. How do you feed an army on the move like that?
Sima has an idea. Thinking practically, thinking modern. He invents the hamburger.
Wait, what? Hamburgers in ancient China.
Well, his version. Meat patty, some kind of bun, sauce, maybe some veggies tucked in. Portable, quick, nutritious, perfect field ration.
That's actually brilliant.
Sanru helps get the recipe relayed. Zhuge Liang eventually finds out about this new leg product, as they called it, and he's genuinely impressed by the ingenuity.
Did it help win the battle?
It certainly boosted morale. Zhuge Liang's strategy won the day against Xiu Dun, but having well-fed, happier soldiers definitely didn't hurt. Practical innovation makes a difference.
And Sima must have finally felt validated, Rick.
He still craved Zhuge Liang's direct recognition, though. So he uses a night pearl, one of those legendary glowing gems he'd acquired, to dramatically reveal he was the hamburger inventor.
A bit theatrical.
Maybe, but it worked. Zhuge Liang finally admits, okay, I misjudged you. Sima Shin's finally getting that respect.
Good for him. But knowing Sima, trouble can't be far behind.
You nailed it. His knack for meddling strikes again. He tries to teach Liu Bei's maids how to act like Hong Kong girls, maybe being more assertive or flirty. It backfires spectacularly and scares Huang Yuang, Zhuge Liang's wife, so much she faints.
Oh dear. What was he thinking?
Who knows? But then he doubles down. He gets this misguided idea to replace Huang Yuang as Zhuge Liang's wife with Liu Bei's niece, Miu. His reasoning. Huang Yuang isn't conventionally beautiful and seems sickly.
That's awful and incredibly insulting.
Terribly. And Kai Furen is also trying to poach Zhuge Liang around this time. So Liu Bei, under pressure, actually starts to consider this horrible wife swap idea.
No. What does Zhuge Liang do?
This is where Zhuge Liang shows his true character. Huang Yuang, deeply hurt and self-conscious, runs away. But Zhuge Liang refuses point blank to take a new wife. He searches for Huang Yuang for a whole month.
He finds her.
Yes. Finds her, declares his unwavering love and loyalty, and then he resigns from Liu Bei's service, telling Liu Bei straight up that he can't serve someone who doesn't trust his judgment or integrity.
Wow. Standing on principle. Powerful stuff. Liu Bei must have blamed Sima for all this drama.
Oh, absolutely. And it leads to this massive falling out between Sima and Zhuge Liang. Huge argument. Sima starts sending angry cursing letters.
Uh-oh. And Han Liang is still around, isn't he?
Yep. Still scheming. Han Liang finds these angry letters and sees his chance. He plots to have Zhuge Liang assassinated and use the letters to frame Sima for it.
Classic setup. Does Sima see it coming?
He actually overhears the plot. Quick thinking kicks in again. He needs to protect Zhuge Liang and expose Han Liang.
How?
He stages a fake kidnapping of Zhuge Liang, ties him up, feeds him mud buns, makes it look convincing, hoping to lure Han Liang into the open.
Does Han Liang take the bait?
No, Han Liang is too cautious, too paranoid. He doesn't attack Zhuge Liang directly.
So, plan B.
Sima realizes he needs to make himself the target. He arranges things, so Han Liang thinks he has a clear shot to assassinate Sima himself.
Risky.
Extremely. But it works. Han Liang goes for it, but Zhao Yun, alerted by Sima intervenes at the last second. Han Liang's treachery is exposed, finally.
And Han Liang gets...
vanished. Gone for good. It's a complex, dangerous maneuver, but Sima pulls it off. It shows how much his strategic thinking has evolved. And after all that, he feels this renewed sense of purpose. Help Liu Bei unify China. Change history for the better, maybe.
Okay, so Han Liang's out. Things should be smoother now, maybe heading towards Red Cliffs.
Exactly. But first, another crisis. Liu Biao, the ruler of Jiangsu, dies. On his deathbed, he asks Liu Bei to take over.
Big opportunity for Liu Bei.
But Liu Bei refuses. Says it wouldn't be morally right to take his relative's land. Very noble.
But Sima Xin must know this is a bad idea, historically.
He does. He warns Liu Bei, using modern business jargon, about an impending inheritance storm, predicting Kai Furen will make a grab for power.
And is he right?
Spot on. Conflict
Oh, yeah.
erupts. Kai Furen schemes, and it all creates an opening for Cao Cao, who invades with this enormous army, 500,000 troops.
Whoa. Okay, that's bad. What does Sima Xin's sister say? The search engine auntie.
She sends a crucial text confirming the historical outcome. Liu Bei suffers a massive defeat, forced to retreat to a place called Jianxia. Sima Xin frantically urges Liu Bei to retreat now.
Does Liu Bei listen this time?
Not initially. He still holds out hope for an alliance with Kai Furen, who promptly betrays him to Cao Cao. Of course.
So the retreat is on, the disastrous one from the history books.
Yes, the perilous retreat with thousands of civilian refugees. Lady Gan, Liu Bei's wife, sacrifices herself. Zhao Yun makes his legendary ride, saving Liu Bei's infant son, Du.
And doesn't Liu Bei famously throw the baby down?
He does, in frustration, maybe for show, lamenting that he almost lost a great general like Zhao Yun for this crybaby. Dramatic stuff.
But they're still being pursued, right? How do they escape the Changbampo Bridge?
Yes. And here Sima Xin has another moment of genius improvisation. They reach the bridge. Zhang Fei is holding the pass. Sima Xin realizes the bridge is already weakened, structurally unsound, probably from the vibration of thousands of refugees marching over it in unison.
Resonance, like soldiers breaking step on a bridge.
Exactly. So he tells Zhang Fei, just shout as loud as you can. Zhang Fei lets out this legendary roar. The vibration finishes the job and the bridge collapses behind them. Cao's pursuit is stopped cold.
Incredible. Quick thinking saved them.
Absolutely. It shows how understanding physics, even basic principles, could be a lifesaver. But they're safe, for now, but severely weakened. Diplomacy is the next step.
Gotta find allies. Sun Quan, right, down south.
Right. Sima Xin suggests the alliance. But Sun Quan, the young leader of Wu, isn't very interested at first. Cao looks unstoppable.
So how do they win him over? More grapes.
Ha-ha.
Yeah.
That's something even more modern. Sima Xin invents a card game.
A card game, seriously.
Yes. Dudizu, fight the landlord. Still super popular today. He uses it to get Sun Quan's attention, make him relax.
Okay, that's unexpected.
He and Zhuge Liang then cleverly use the game itself, the strategies, the alliances, fighting a common enemy, the landlord, to illustrate why Sun Quan needs to ally with Liu Bei against the bigger threat, Cao Cao.
Using a game to teach military strategy? That's brilliant. Did it work on Sun Quan?
It got his attention, definitely, but they also needed to convince his grand commander, Zhu Yu, who was famously proud and skeptical.
How'd they manage that? More games.
Games helped, yeah. Showed Zhu Yu their cunning, but there were other psychological tactics. Zhu Yu visits Liu Bei's camp, sees how much the people love Zhuge Liang, but barely know who he is. That stinks his pride. So Zhang Fei, surprisingly subtly, stages a martial arts spar with Zhu Yu and lets it end in a draw. Boosts Zhu Yu's ego.
Clever, playing to his vanity.
But the final nail. Zhu Yunang fabricates a poem, supposedly by Cao Cao's talented son, Cao Zio. The poem seems to imply that Cao Cao's main goal in conquering the south is to capture Zhu Yu's famously beautiful wife, Zhao Cao.
Whoa! Hitting him where it hurts. Did Zhu Yu buy it?
Totally. He flies into a rage. That personal insult, combined with the strategic arguments, finally convinces him. Alliance agreed.
Wow. Politics, ego, and maybe a little bit of fake news, but now Zhu Yu and Zhu Yelang have to work together. That sounds tense.
Very tense. Zhu Yu is still deeply jealous of Zhu Yang's fame and intellect. He tries to sabotage him almost immediately with the borrowed arrows incident.
Ah, the famous story. How does Sima Xin fit into that?
Zhu Yu demands Zhu Liang produced 100,000 arrows in just 10 days, an impossible task, hoping you'll fail and can be executed. Zhu Liang is stumped, but Sima Xin gets an idea looking at some dry hay. He texts Zhu Liang the plan. Borrow arrows from Cao Cao using boats filled with straw dummies in the fog.
The classic scheme. But how does he text it?
That's the problem. His text gets damaged by rain, smudged. Zhuge Liang has to decipher this garbled message using what Sima Xin called his Hong Kong 18 styles of thinking, basically. Using lateral thinking, street smarts, every trick he knew to piece together the plan.
Amazing. And Zhu Liang pulls it off.
Perfectly. Sails the boats out in thick fog, drums beating. Cao Cao's archers riddle the strawmen with arrows. They sail back with over 100,000 arrows. Zhu Ju is stunned and furious.
You can feel the jealousy just simmering, can't you?
Oh, boils over. While Xiao Cao is designing fancy cloaks for Zhu Yu, Huang Yuning is busy designing Zhuge Liang's wood ox and flowing horse, these ingenious mechanical devices for transporting supplies.
More innovation from Zhu Liang's side.
Exactly. Sun Quan even mocks Ziyu about it. And Zhuju, consumed by jealousy, does something terrible. He leaks the location of Zhuge Liang's workshop to Cao Cao.
No. He betrayed the alliance.
In a way, yes. Zhuge Liang is forced to burn his prototypes and designs and flee for his life. A huge strategic loss, all because of personal rivalry.
Man, these guys. And Sima Xin is caught in the middle of all this.
He is, and his tendency to jump to conclusions nearly gets him killed. There's this weird incident where an old man criticizes Sun Quan. To avoid unrest, Zhuju and Sun Quan fake the old man's death, hiding him away in a coffin temporarily.
Okay, strange but maybe necessary politics.
But Sima Xin sees the coffin, assumes it's another plot by Zhuyu, maybe to kill Zhu Jiang or someone else. He demands they open the coffin right then and there.
What's inside?
A straw dummy with Cao Cao's name pinned to it. Zhuyu calmly explains it's for ancient witchcraft, cursing the enemy.
So Sima Xin looks like a fool.
And worse, he's accused of disrupting morale right before a major battle. Sun Quan wants him banished, maybe executed. Only Liu Bei, threatening to break the alliance, saves him. But he's definitely on thin ice in Zhu Yu's camp.
This alliance is fragile, and Sima Xin keeps rocking the boat. What happens next? Does he get away from Zhu Yu?
He tries. He knows Zhu Yu's assassins might be after him, so he escapes towards Yizhu.
Okay.
But bad luck strikes again. He gets captured by Han Liang's men.
Han Liang? I thought he was banished.
Apparently not far enough, and Han Liang, despite everything, still recognizes Sima Xin's intelligence. He takes him straight to Cao Cao.
Oh, from the frying pan into the fire. What does Cao Cao do?
Cao Cao is cunning. He knows Sima Xin is valuable, but to ensure his loyalty, he captures Sanru, uses her as leverage.
Oh no, poor Sanru. That puts Sima Xin in an impossible position.
Totally trapped and desperate. In a last-ditch attempt to change everything, maybe even stop Red Cliffs, he reveals a massive future secret to Zhu Jie.
What's he?
The name is Sima Yi. He tells Zhuge Liang that this guy, currently a pretty minor official in Cao Cao's camp, is the one who will eventually unify the three kingdoms long after everyone else is gone. Basically warning him that even if they win Red Cliffs, the ultimate victory goes elsewhere.
Does Zhuge Liang believe him? That's huge.
The text says Zhuge Liang believes him. It must have been a chilling prophecy.
So does it change anything? Does Zhuge Liang try to find Sima Yi?
It doesn't seem to stop the immediate course of events. Instead, Sima Xin tries a different tactic now that he's advising Cao Cao, albeit under duress. He proposes a winning strategy for Cao Cao.
Which is?
A one-year truce. Use the time to properly train a navy. Cao Cao's northern soldiers are getting terribly seasick on the river. A year of training could fix that. He argues it's the logical move.
That actually sounds sensible. Does Cao Cao consider it?
Sima Xin even gets permission to meet with Zhuge Liang and propose the truce. And, incredibly, both Zhuge Liang and Liu Bei are willing to agree.
Yeah.
A year could give them time to consolidate too.
So, peace, no Red Cliffs.
Almost. But Sun Quan refuses. Zhu Yu, still suspicious and eager for glory, convinces Sun Quan that Liu Bei and Zhuge Liang are just trying to trick them, maybe making a side deal with Cao Cao. He accuses them of betrayal. The alliance holds, but the truce is rejected. History marches on.
Wow. So close to a different path. Fate, maybe.
Or just human ambition and suspicion. Around this time, Sima Xin gets one last text message from his sister before his phone finally dies for good.
The final message. What did it say?
It confirmed his fears. History self-corrects, she says. Major events can't really be changed. But there is another portal opening. Soon. In December.
Another chance to go home.
Yes, but with a very specific condition. The portal requires a temperature of 50 degrees Celsius within a certain radius to activate.
50 degrees Celsius? That's incredibly hot. How?
His phone breaks up then, but he catches the temperature requirement and something about 2 soil characters. He puts it together. Massive heat, 2 soil characters. It must mean Chibi the Red Cliffs, the famous fire.
Fire itself will trigger the portal.
That's his deduction. So his goal instantly shifts. Forget changing history. Get Sanru, get to Red Cliffs during the fire, and go home together.
Okay, the final act is set. The Battle of Red Cliffs.
It begins. Zuyu sets his intricate plan in motion. Huang Gai pretends to defect. Pang Tong supposedly offers advice to Cao Cao, though he's actually still Han Liang's prisoner.
And Sima Xin, what's his role? Working for Cao Cao.
Tragically, he gives Cao Cao the crucial advice that seals his doom. He suggests linking the ships together with iron chains and laying planks across them. It solves the seasickness problem for Cao Cao's northern troops.
That makes them a perfect fire trap.
Exactly. It was actually Pang Tong's idea originally, which Sima Xin somehow knew or figured out. He gives Cao Cao the key to his own destruction.
Oh, the irony.
The battle lines are drawn, everything's ready for the fire attack. But then, the wind dies. Complete calm. They need the southeast wind for the fire ships.
No east wind. History is wrong.
Zhu Jiliang doesn't panic. He performs this famous elaborate ceremony at the seven-star altar, seemingly summoning the east wind.
Was it magic?
Not exactly. Zhu Jiliang, according to these accounts, knew from studying some obscure Western region ancient text, maybe astronomical charts or weather prediction methods, that the wind would change at that specific time.
Yeah.
The ceremony was pure theater, but incredibly effective for morale.
And the wind comes.
The east wind rises, right on cue. Huang Gai's fire ships sail into Cao Cao's chain fleet. The result is devastation. A massive inferno. Red Cliffs burns.
Cao Cao is defeated, humiliated.
Utterly. He escapes, but just barely. Guan Yu famously intercepts him at Huarong Road, but lets him go a calculated move Zhu Jiliang likely intended to keep the balance of power. Don't want Sun Quan getting too strong either.
Right. Keep all three kingdoms in play. And Sima Xin and Sanru, the portal.
Amidst the chaos, the fire, the smoke, they race towards the spot where Sima Xin calculated the portal would open. They actually run into the fleeing Cao Cao, who's furious and attacks Sima Xin.
No!
But Fan Zhen, remember him, the first guy Sima Xin saved, appears out of nowhere and saves Sima Xin, a life repaid.
Wow. Full circle.
Sima Xin grabs Sanru, they find the shimmering portal in the heat haze, and they jump in together, hand in hand,
Yeah.
heading home.
Yes, they made it.
Almost. The portal, the time tunnel, it has this immense suction, this force. As they're traveling through it, they get separated, pulled apart.
Oh, no. Don't say.
Sanru is ripped from his grasp, left behind in the past. Sima Xin makes it through, back to modern Hong Kong. But he's alone.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. After everything, he lost her right at the end.
Devastating. He gets back, realizes she's not there. He frantically searches historical records, anything about her, about himself. Finds nothing, no trace they ever existed.
Wiped from history. Or just never recorded.
Maybe just footnotes lost to time. He goes to see Dr. Cao, the time travel expert his sister mentioned. Dr. Cao confirms the worst. The physics of it, the instability. The next portal opening isn't for 500 years.
500 years. An impossible wait. What does he do?
His life. It becomes this long wait. He gives up being an extra, actually becomes quite successful, builds a chain of restaurants, makes money.
He never marries.
Never. Stays a bachelor his whole life. His office apparently is like a shrine to the three kingdoms.
Yeah.
Mementos everywhere. And a huge portrait of Sanru.
Still hoping?
Always. He obsessively tracks weather patterns, typhoon forecasts, clinging to that minuscule chance. There's even this false alarm years later someone posts a video online claiming to have seen a nine heavens maiden looking just like Sanru. He rushes there.
Was it her?
No. Just a cruel hoax, a marketing gimmick for a game or something. Crushing disappointment.
This poor guy. How long does this go on?
15 more years pass after that hoax. It's now been 30 years since he returned from the Three Kingdoms. He's older, successful, but alone. And he develops heart disease.
Oh no, time is running out for him too.
And then, the impossible happens. A typhoon. Not just any typhoon, but another monster storm. The kind they say only happens every 500 years. Just like the first one.
The portal. It's opening again.
He knows it instantly. He gets in his car, makes this final desperate drive back to that mountain cave location from all those years ago. His heart is giving out excruciating pain. But he gets there.
Can he make it?
He sees the blue light of the portal shimmering. He gets out of the car, collapses, but starts crawling towards it. Reliving memories of Sanru, pushing himself forward. He's almost there. The portal fully opens, and stepping out of it is Sanru. Young, exactly as he remembered her, unaged by time.
She made it. Through another portal. But wait.
Exactly. She steps out, looking for him, and finds Sima Xin. Old, frail, dying right there at her feet.
Oh, God. No.
He sees her one last time, and then he's gone. The portal snaps shut behind her, leaving Sanru young and alone, stranded in modern Hong Kong, a world she doesn't know, without the man she crossed time for.
That's that's just brutally tragic. Fate playing the cruelest trick
A
imaginable.
devastating ending. Fate plays tricks, as the source material puts it.
Wow. So Sima Shin's whole journey, incredible ambition, resilience, he genuinely did influence things, invented hamburgers, card games, saved Liu Bei multiple times, but in the end,
In the end, history seemed to find its course. Red Cliff still happened. Cao was defeated but not destroyed, and his personal story ends in heartbreak. The cost of trying to bridge time was immense.
it leaves you thinking, doesn't it? If history does sort of self-correct, like his sister's message said, does that mean our choices don't ultimately matter on the grand scale?
Or maybe our choices don't change the destination, the big picture, but they absolutely define the journey. His journey was unique, shaped entirely by his choices, his successes, his mistakes, his love. That mattered profoundly to him and to Sanru.
Right. It wasn't meaningless, even if the ending wasn't what he fought for.
Exactly. And it makes you
Mm.
wonder, what really is the true cost of chasing a connection, a love, across time itself? Especially when fate, or maybe just causality, seems determined to have the last heartbreaking laugh.